Yo, what's going on, subscribers? What's up, y'all? I hope the new year is treating y'all good so far. So, they already started it up. We're the 4th day. But I wanna talk about financially being unstable and how they create different ways to try to do that. So if you pay attention to the way I'm driving, you see everybody with phones in hand, this is all orchestrated. All the phone people. All phone people. She makes sure you see, everybody is on the street that's doing this. Then she put the phone down when I look in the window. So they all try to record when they with you. So this is just to prove how they tracking me everywhere, right? So what I'm telling you about being financially unstable, right? How they create different ways to do it, right? But like I said, this been going on for quite some time, and I'm just realizing what's been going on. So personally, like I said, when everything started to really hit the fan, I was really down and out, right? Down to nothing. And like I said, I had family that turned on me, and I just went to living on the street. Because the place where I had, I couldn't stay there no more. So, now me personally, I don't like to argue, so I would just leave, right? Now, I was living on the street, literally, and surviving through that situation, even through cold situations. So when you have family that tell you that you really don't have no family, you see what I'm saying? You sitting here trying to figure out where you gonna really establish yourself at. If I'm stuck in the same area where I've been at for a long period of time. So around the pandemic is when I started going back to the family member where I was staying at, right? Because I wound up seeing them on the street. They seen me on the street. Now, like I said, I don't like being a burden on nobody, so I don't really like staying from house to house and for people to use that against me. And I'm a person that I'm not ashamed to ask, but I'm just a person that just don't like asking for help. I should be able to manage myself. So when I came back over by their place, when I say they was just it was so much rubbing stuff in my face. Bought a new car, rubbing stuff in my face, giving the other family member a car, and just doing a lot of stuff, just rubbing it in my face. So then I started working, right? I started working, and I started to stack my money, right? But the person that I was staying with, they was saying, "Oh, I just want you to get your money up. That way you can just take care of your own." So it's when I started to get my money up, then that's when I started throwing different stuff in the mix, right? So then I used to have to work all the way in Jersey, and I would have to borrow the vehicle, right? So she would say the insurance is due or whatever. I would go online. I said I'll pay it this week. I said I see how much the insurance is. I would pay it, right? then all of a sudden she would tell me, don't worry about it, right? Or if anything, like little stuff, tire stuff, whatever, because I can take care of all that type of stuff, right? So I literally would eat boiled eggs and ramen noodles and just stack my money up, right? Cause she was saying that she wanted me to keep the other car, and me and the other family member could manage it, right? And I'm like, don't worry, you could give it to him. I said, I'm gonna try to manage and I'll try to make where I'll get my vehicle, right? So I wound up stacking up to get a vehicle, right? Now when I bought the vehicle wasn't moving, but I know how to fix stuff, you know. So once I figured out what was the issue for the vehicle, I fixed it. Now, it's like once I bought the vehicle, this how I know I was being watched the whole time, because everybody was start acting funny, right? Or let's say I buy stuff for the house. It used to be mad weird stuff, like I buy stuff for the house, and then all of a sudden, they would lock the lock so I can't get in, and do all types of craziness, so I won't be able to it's like telling somebody that I'm selfish, or I don't help out, or whatever, cause that's what it seemed like was being done, right? So if I buy stuff for the house, they wouldn't touch it. If I cook, they wouldn't touch it. It's like it just was a bunch of different strange stuff, right? So that would make you feel uncomfortable from being around people, right? Now, since I bought the vehicle, multiple things they done. Like I said, I got tons of videos I just don't put up because I don't want nobody to see how I have different things set up to watch my surroundings, right? So I done had people done hit my vehicle, put nails in my tire, all different types of stuff when I'm parked on the street, right? So then I started parking in the driveway. That was a problem. You know, the other family member that was staying there, they were parking in the driveway, it was never a problem. But me parking there, it was a problem. Because now nobody could get to it, because now I'm watching it 24/7, right? Then they start piling up. It's like a 5-car garage, but then it's like a fucking drive-through with multiple 20 damn cars be coming in and out that shit. So I'm sitting here like, this is how they do. This is why I said I be paying attention and I just don't say nothing, because that's the way of trying to push you out. So then if that don't work, they'll block the vehicle in so I can't leave out, right? So now, like I said, this is supposed to drive you to doing certain things, right? Like committing suicide or just snapping out, right? Now, like I said, this is why I document to speak on certain stuff, right? So it gets to the point where now, like I said, now, like when I bought the car, that's when they literally got me out my job, right? Like just made up a whole different thing and got me out of work, right? So ever since then, I haven't been working no 9 to 5, right?
New York, as a state and establishment and city, they don't want you to have a car. So they're gonna make it as hard as for you to have a car, insurance, tickets, everything.
And I couldn't get government assistance at one point, you know, because I don't, like I said, they got this shit sewn up to the point where they blocking every avenue. So then I finally get accepted for that to give the person where I'm staying at some type of rent money, right? So, like I said, I will really, literally eat boiled eggs and ramen noodles, right? Just to budget myself, right? Now, I'm a type of person, I know how to manage even with a little bit. And when I bought the car was supposed to help me elevate when I was working. That way I could start doing like different things, like private taxi, whatever. But like I said, I stopped doing that because they would stage all my customers, and people would try to do different things to hit my vehicle, or just they do a lot of different stuff, like just so I could be out of commission and don't have no vehicle to move around with. So now the person I'm staying with start throwing different things in my face about her vehicle and what she got to do, and she thought her transmission gave out. It's like speaking spells on my vehicle, right? So now, like I said, I buy stuff ahead of time, and I know how to do stuff for my vehicle. I know how to change transmission, oil, all types of stuff. I know how to do all different type of things, especially if I have the right directions. I will be able to get it done, because I have tools and all that. So I literally did something that way my vehicle would make it look like it wasn't working, right? Just so I can prove that these people be trying their best to stop me from even doing something. Like it's like they get the kick out of saying you not being able to manage, right? So once I decided to just put the piece back in and start the vehicle up, because people was coming out of nowhere claiming they wanted to help, right? But being in all reality, they was really trying to sabotage the vehicle even more, right? Tell me don't tow the vehicle, just leave it where it's at, right? So as soon as I started the vehicle and I moved it from where it was parked at, a school bus hit my vehicle from the back. It hit the back and then flattened the tire, right? The same day that I started the vehicle and moved it. Now, it was parked on the corner for a week. It was parked on the corner for a week. Nobody did nothing to the vehicle as far as like hitting it, right? So now, like I said, they done sent sanitation workers to put tickets on my vehicle while I'm sitting in the car. They done did so much things to the point where I just be looking at it like, bro, are you serious? So now the person that I'm staying with, I remember the tire was flat, right? So I wound up taking the tire off and taking it to the shop to get it fixed, right? So now she's saying the other tire is flat or whatever, right? And this is what I'm saying. She's like, oh, I had to fix the other tire. I said, I thought I fixed it. I thought I bought a tire. She's like, oh, that was that side? Oh, well, it's messed up again, right? I'm like, okay. She said, but now it's the right one. She had to fix that. I said, okay. She never said nothing, though. So I never knew, right? So now I'm taking the right one to get fixed, right? And like I said, this is why I'm saying, because they know that I'm saving. She like, oh, I don't have no money. I'm like, it's cool. So this is why I'm trying to show you how. Now when I go places, they got people everywhere. Like if I go to the gas station, like that's another thing. They have gas now where it's like $2.50 something, right? If I go there, all of a sudden that gas is out, right? They don't have that gas no more. I gotta get the 3 and change, right? So if I go there, I hear them say he paying by card or he's paying by cash, right? Now, like I said, this is why I'm trying to prove to you that it got to be a higher power watching over me, because I'm still surviving. Like, things that I wouldn't even imagine happens for me, right? You know, like credit wise and all that, right? So now, me personally, I don't like to really literally sit here and talk about certain stuff, right? Because I already know that they have certain people watching my videos, right? So me, like, that's why I said I'm a person that, it's like I said, like I was saying, it just shows me that me being kind-hearted to the people that don't give a fuck, it just don't make no sense, because they gonna make it like how they want to make it. You see what I'm saying? They done already showed me numerous times different situations, but when you have no real place to go, it's like, you know, they want you to really be like desperate to go somewhere. Like I was saying, I was staying with the female I was staying with, and like I said, I already knew it was orchestrated. You know, I'm just testing the waters, right? So, me personally, they want me to now, mind you, I'm about to start back working soon, right? Because I finally have somebody that's gonna help me get some place to work at, right? So I'm gonna prove to you how they're gonna try to block everything, my whole avenue, from making money, right? Now, like I said, I done got support from different people from my channel, you know, and I appreciate it, you know, because like I said, I'm really showing the type of stuff that I deal with. Like, and it's not from this channel per se, but I have something set up where I can show exactly what I deal with on a daily basis, right? And I got people that support me, right? Because it gets outrageous to the point where I feel like I'm trapped in this city. Like, the way they do certain things for me not to leave, right? So, like I said, being that I came back over to the place where I was at, because I already knew that's what they was trying to do, because the holidays. Now, like I said, that's why I'm writing and doing certain things this year, right? Because they try to use kids and all that, right? I ain't see my baby moms and my kid in years. That's how I know this been going on for mad long, right? My son is 20, 21 now, right? I haven't seen him since he was probably like 8 or 9. Because it's always been about money, right? It never was about being in a child's life. It was always about money, right? So now all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she decides to want to invite me somewhere. The last time I seen him was when she invited me somewhere, and it was a big thing, right? So she tells the person that I'm staying with how she changed, right? This is how I know they trying to push different situations towards me, right? And it's like, now that you see it, and what's so funny is, I was messing with her when I was 18. No, like 20, like 19, 20, right? Now, where I'm staying at now, I lived a block away from where I'm staying at with her, right? When I was around that age, right? Because the same thing happened back then with the same person I'm staying with, I didn't like to argue, and then that's how I wound up living with her. Now I start to think about different things from back then when I used to leave and all that, and always wound up going back to her, and then the same person I'm staying with said, oh, she think that she probably start putting stuff in my food, that's why I keep going back. See, I never thought about, they been doing witchcraft on me. They been doing all this type of stuff on me since I was young. You see what I'm saying? And it's like now I'm more aware of it. My other baby moms, I told you, they had me working right around the corner from where I used to live at with her. So it's just weird scenarios that's not making no sense, right? So now mind you, like I said, I haven't spoken to him. You know, and like I said, it's so much things that adds up now with different situations, and like I said, this is why I'm starting to create different ways to talk about what's been going on in my life, right? How they set up different relationships for me. Because when I met her, I was working, doing security somewhere. My first time, I ain't even start working as of yet, but I was already driving at 18. And I had passed that house where she was living at, and I seen her going inside. But then when I tried to go back around and see if she was still outside, I didn't see her. So when I started to work at this place, now mind you, it was on the other side of the area where we was living at. I had to drive on the highway to get to work. Now when I go to work, the first person that approached me at that job was that same girl that I seen going inside the building. And it was strange because I'm sitting in here like, that's how odd is that, right? So that's how we started talking, you know. And then I told her I would take her home, and I told her she don't have to tell me where she live at. I was like, I'ma just drive to a destination, and if this is where you live at, you owe me dinner, right? And that's how that whole situation started. And then when I start to think about certain stuff, it's always been going on. When I was in high school, I went to a high school out of my jurisdiction, and I would have to take public transportation there, right? And I remember seeing this house, and I was like, damn, I wish we could live here. That way I ain't gotta take public transportation. I could just walk to school, right? Like a month later, my mom's talking about she got a new place, and the place was in the same house that I said I wish we could live there. It's just, but when I say it just bugs me out how this shit is orchestrated. It's crazy. Now, mind you, when we first moved there, it was nobody living there but us. You know, and where then we started to get tenants and whatnot. And that was like a similar place where she was living at now, same way, right? She was the first person living there, then she started getting tenants. So I'm just sitting here like, financially they try to throw different stuff at me, like, you know, other baby moms, child support, different type of stuff. I should have been done. Like I said, now that I know, they've been doing this since I was living at that place where I said I wish we could stay there. With them setting me up, trying to get me locked up, all that type of stuff. It wasn't as overt as it is now, because now that I'm awakened to the shit, it's getting to the point where they doing a lot. You know, so around that time it was like little subtle stuff, you know, but I'm thinking it's just life. But they've been orchestrating it, you know. But that's why I said I'm gonna start getting into a lot of stuff in deeper, because like I said, I wasn't supposed to survive a lot of things. You know, I survived a lot of stuff, and that's why I said it's so funny, because the super and the place where I'm staying at knew my baby moms that I was staying with down the street, right? And that's funny that he's dead working there, right? And I remember when I first came in and I seen him, he said he's surprised that I survived this long. So when he said that, it made me know that that's been going on for a long time. But I'm gonna cut this short, because like I said, I'm gonna get real in depth with a lot of different things that's been going on. I'm about to try to take care of some stuff. But alright, y'all, hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all week coming up. Stay safe. Alright, y'all, peace.